welcome to Classes of Preet. Today we are going to study Biology, Chapter Transpiration, Part 1. So let's start. What is transpiration? It is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the leaves and other aerial parts of the plant. Transpiration is a very useful process for plants for two reasons. First, creating suction pores in the stem to enable the roots to absorb water and mineral nutrients. And second, for cooling the plant in hot weather. The process is demonstrated in many experiments. So first experiment, take a well-watered potted plant and cover the plant with a transparent polythene bag. Then tie its mouth around the base of the stem. Leave the plant in a sunlight for an hour or two. Drops of water will soon appear on the inner side of the bag due to the saturation of water vapor given out by the leaves. A similar empty polythene bag with its mouth tied and kept in sunlight will show no drops of water. This is a control to show that plants transpire water in the form of vapor. If tested with a cobalt chloride paper, the drops will be confirmed as water only if the blue paper turns pink. Cobalt chloride paper is an indicator of moisture. It's a blue paper, and when it gets exposed to moisture, the color turns to pink. Now experiment 2. There are 3 setups A, B and C. In setup A, take a small well-watered potted plant and enclose the pot completely with a polythene bag and tie the mouth of the bag firmly around the base of the stem. This will prevent the escape of water vapor from the pot. Now cover the entire plant under a bell jar. Now in setup B, arrange another similar plant and cover it with a bell jar exactly in the same manner as the first one. That here you also keep a piece of dry cobalt chloride paper by the side of the plant inside the bell jar. The paper may be pinned to a wooden stick or to a stirrup of cork sit. Now setup C. Take a third bell jar without a plant but still containing a small piece of cobalt chloride paper. Now keep the 3 bell jars together in the sun. About half an hour after, we can see that the bell jar A would show water vapor condensing on its inner walls. The setup B, second bell jar, would show a similar condensation. At the same time, the initially blue cobalt chloride paper in it would turn pink, and the blue color of the cobalt chloride paper in the third bell jar does not change at all, and there are no water drops on the jar's inner wall either. The third bell jar in the experiment is a control which proves that there was no moisture in the air due to transpiration, as there was no plant in it. By taking the 3 bell jars, we have described that there is a double visual proof of transpiration. First, condensation of water vapor into droplets, and second, change of color in cobalt chloride paper. Now, measurement of transpiration. There are a number of methods for measuring transpiration. So some of these are: first, weighing method. A small lightweight potted plant can be weighed before and after the end of the certain period of time. The soil surface in the pot should be fully covered to prevent evaporation from the surfaces other than the plant. The loss in weight by the plant during the time is due to the loss of water by transpiration. An improvement in the weighing method can be made by using a glass bottle linked by a rubber tube to a graduated side tube filled with water. The water level in the side tube falls to demonstrate loss of water through transpiration from the leaves. This will indicate the volume of water loss that can be compared with the loss in weight with the help of a weighing machine. Another weighing experiment can be done by using a test tube filled with water and inserting a leafy shoot with no roots in it and pouring some oil on the surface to prevent loss of water by evaporation. Place the test tube in the small beaker and weigh them together. Remove the intact test tube and keep it straight in the test tube stand for a few hours. Weigh it again by keeping it in the same beaker. Any difference in the weight will indicate loss of water by the shoot due to transpiration. Since there are no roots to actively absorb water, the water loss through transpiration will be much less. Second method is potometer method. It is a device that measures the rate of water intake by a plant, and the water is intake almost equal to the water loss through transpiration. Potometers are of various types designed by various scientists to study and measure the rate of transpiration. Namely, first, Gannon's potometer. First, Ganong's photometer. It helps to measure the rate of water intake by a plant. Second, Darwin's photometer. It helps to demonstrate the suction force created due to transpiration. And the third, Garrow's photometer. It helps to demonstrate the unequal transpiration from the two surfaces of a dorsiventral leaf. Now, Ganong's photometer. It's a diagram of Ganong's photometer. So here we have taken a beaker in which there is colored water. Here we have introduced air bubble. It's a stop cork, it's a reservoir, it's water, and this is a leafy shoot. A twig of some suitable plant cut with a sharp knife if fixed in an apparatus. The entire apparatus is filled with water so that no air spaces are present. An air bubble is introduced in the horizontal graduated capillary tube which is dipping into the beaker containing water. As transpiration proceeds, a suction force is set up, which pulls the water from the beaker as the bubble in the capillary tube moves along. The readings on the capillary tube would give the volume of water lost in the given time. The air bubble can be brought back to its original position by releasing some more water from the reservoir into the capillary tube by opening the stop cork. Photometers do not measure the water lost during transpiration but measure the water uptake by the cut shoot. Some of the water is used by the cells to carry out other processes, for example manufacture of food, that is photosynthesis. Now there are some precautions in the use of Ganong's photometer. The first one is the photometer should be made completely watertight. Second, the twig should be cut obliquely to allow large surface for the water intake, and underwater to avoid suction of air bubble into the twig which will stop the absorption of water into the xylem. And there are also some limitations in the use of photometer. First, introducing of air bubble is not very easy. Second, the twig may not remain fully alive for a long time. And the third, any changes in the outside air temperature may affect the position of the air bubble in the capillary tube. Now next, it is kinds of transpiration, and which we will discuss in the part 2. So please check it. So here I am ending the video, and we will continue the rest in the part 2. So if you like the video, please turn the black thumb blue and subscribe our channel, and thanks for watching.